Hi, this is Rukmini, and I'm going to talk about the concept of state. So, before we go on, let's think about the term state from our common understanding. When we imagine state, we imagine our state Assam, we imagine a geographical boundary, we imagine a group of people living within this geographical boundary. We also imagine a government machinery like the government offices or our political leaders who run the state. That's an absolutely correct understanding of the concept of state. So, one of the first things that we should know about the state is that it's a political organization of society. By this, I mean that it's a coming together of a group of people to govern themselves through a specific mechanism like the law and order system. Secondly, this group of people organize themselves within this territorial boundary. There is another very important characteristic of the concept of state, which is sovereignty. Sovereignty is the absolute authority in the decision making process of the state and maintenance of law and order. This absolute authority or sovereignty is not possessed by the state of Assam because Assam is a unit of the larger state which we call India. So, India is a state because it possesses all the characteristics which qualifies to be a state. India is firstly a political organization of a group of people, that is the population. Secondly, this population is within a demarcated territory. We have defined borders with our neighboring countries. And thirdly, we have a government in place to maintain the law and order and run the country. And finally, India has sovereignty by which it has authority over the whole territory and cannot be interfered or disturbed by other country. We call Assam or any other units under the Union of India as states, but they do not possess sovereignty, which is why they cannot become a state in the true sense of the term. Keeping in mind all these four characteristics of the concept of state, let's formulate a definition of state. So, state is an organization of people within a specific territorial boundary with a government in place and possesses sovereignty over its population and territory. Now, let's look into these four elements of state individually. Number one, population. As I have told earlier, that state is an organization of people or coming together of people. So, population is the foremost necessity in the formation of a state. People under a state are the citizens of the state enjoying certain rights and liberties ensured by the state. For example, Indian citizens enjoy all the rights and liberties that the Indian Constitution guarantees. If any citizen of a state is living in a different state, they are called aliens, foreigners, etc. But one thing should be remembered that both citizens and non-citizens have to abide by the laws of the state that they are residing in. The state can exercise supreme authority over its population through its government. Second, territory. A definite territory is essential for a state. Therefore, it's very important to demarcate the geographical boundaries of a state. This demarcation or border will tell the extent of the jurisdiction of the state. For example, India's borders have been well demarcated with its neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. This border also demarcates the areas which fall under the Indian state. Territory of a state does not only include the land, but it also includes rivers, lakes, mountains, etc., and all the natural resources beneath the land. The state also has jurisdiction over the airspace above the land. The third element of state is government. As mentioned earlier, the state needs a machinery to run itself, and this machinery is the government. The state exercises its sovereign powers through this government, and government has three organs: legislature, which does the lawmaking functions; executive, which executes these laws; and then there is judiciary, which applies these laws to settle disputes, which is adjudicatory functions. Governments could be of different types like monarchy, aristocracy, dictatorship, or democratic. It could also be parliamentary or presidential, unitary or federal, etc. India has a parliamentary democratic government. The fourth and the most important element of the state is sovereignty. It is the supreme power of the state over its population and its territory. This power has two divisions, which is internal and external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty is the power of the state to regulate the activities of the people, groups, and institutions within the territory. And external sovereignty is the complete independence of the state from external control. For example, India as a sovereign state cannot be controlled externally by any other state. It also implies equality of the state with other states.